Thank you. I'm Shavonne McMillan, proud principal of Vaux Big Picture High School. There's a war going on in these streets, and none of us are safe. On behalf of the Vaux Big Picture High School community, I am speaking for the staff members who have experienced what no educator should ever have to experience. When they're completing orientation or professional development, no one tells them that they would have to experience something like this. We feel your fears and commend your strength. I'm speaking for the parents who send their babies to school each day or who decide not to send them out of the safety of their homes due to the fear of receiving a dreadful phone call that their baby had been shot just outside of their school building. We see you, we love you, and we empathize with you. I am speaking for the law enforcement who show up to our schools to protect and serve in ways that they never imagined they would ever have to, right outside of a school building. We see you and we appreciate you. I'm speaking for the school leaders who create and recreate safety plans not only for a global pandemic, but for a citywide pandemic. This pandemic has permeated our halls with grief and has housed its shells on our school property and within our safe corridors. I am speaking for myself when I say I want to keep all of my staff and students safe and make it home to my own 3 biological babies. I stood only feet away from an alleged shooter who positioned their car on the corner of my school building and opened fire during our school's dismissal, striking an innocent student on his way home from school. I represent that student who just wants to go to school, explore opportunities, and make it home alive and unscathed. There's a war going on in these streets, and I want to speak to the shooters who have enacted these heinous, cowardly crimes that have landed on our school's doorsteps. We need y'all to honor a code. When I was growing up, violence was inevitable. Gun violence hit close to home for me as well, but never close to my schools. As our CASA president stated, school was a safe haven. There is a war going on in these streets, and so many of those who are in the crossfires are civilians in this war. The educators see it because we're breaking up fights, we're having the mediations, we're providing the trauma-informed care, and we're standing outside. We're walking our students through what should be safe corridors, and we're still at a loss because these corridors are not safe, and these fights have turned lethal. There's a war going on in these streets of Philadelphia, and it's because the system may have failed many of our babies who lack knowledge of self, who lack love, who lack resources, who lack access, and who do not have the ability to dream. So all of that breeds exactly what we see: a lack of purpose, a lack of vision, a lack of love, and the lack of value for individual life. I'm asking that if you don't value life, value the code. I can't speak for my students because they're experiencing the unthinkable. In the 2 years that I've served as the principal of Vaux Big Picture High School, we have seen over 80% of our students earn internships, and over 90% of our seniors graduate from high school. About 60% of them were accepted to 2 or 4-year colleges. Those are pretty impressive numbers that which I love to brag. We've also buried 3 current or former students. 3 more students suffered gunshot wounds, and several students have either entered or exited our doors who have had weapon charges. Of course, I'm not proud about this. I'm also not proud about the fact that it keeps happening, this vicious cycle. There's a war going on in these streets, and what are we going to do to win? Thank you.